Hi everybody, I'm Archie Bell The Drells of Houston, Texas. We don't only sing, but we dance just as good as we want. In Houston, we just started a new dance called the Tighten Up. This is the music we tighten up with. First, tighten up on the drum. Come on now, drummer. I want you to tighten it up for me now. Oh yeah. Tighten up on that bass now. Tighten it up. Yeah. Now let that guitar fall in. Oh yeah. Tighten up on the organ now.
Hey everyone, Ryan Madora here, and I've got a new bass lesson for you. It's springtime, there's lots of humidity in the air. It's time to tidy up or maybe tighten up your garden beds, plant some things. Speaking of tighten up, that's a really cool bass line. It goes like this. That's a good one. Archie Bell and the Drells, a Tighten Up. Let's check it out. You can learn more about this bass line and some other fun things by heading over to my website, ryanmadora.com, or checking out my TrueFire channel or my Patreon page for tab, notation, other good stuff. But let's talk about this bass line and why it's so awesome. First off, this is just like a classic soul R&B groove. Like, if you bust this out, you're going to be sounding good. It's a fun thing to play along to. It's a great dance tune. And what other reason do we have to be bass players than to play soul and R&B grooves? I don't know. But let's talk about this. So the cool thing is this song is in the key of F sharp major. We've done a handful of lessons in F sharp major. That's cool. And it really uses the major pentatonic. So if you found yourselves learning the major pentatonic but not knowing how to apply it or understand where it falls into place musically, this is the place for you to use it. So I'm going to find my F sharp. It's right here on the second fret of my E string. And I'm going to say, all right, cool. Like, here's my F sharp. There's my octave. Maybe I'll play a major scale. That orients myself in the key. Get to hear it. Sounds good. It's right below the G. Here's your G on the third fret. F sharp's just a half step below. So if you're used to playing in G, just take it down a half step. And the cool thing about this song is really the bass just does this. There are a couple little fills that happen, a couple little nuances, and that's just honestly because this was probably played live. Back in the day, they're just like, here's some microphones, let's make some music. And the bass player does a couple of things that strays here and there, but for the most part, the bass line consistently plays this groove. All right, there are a couple little rhythmic inconsistencies here and there because, hey, it's music. It's live. They're humans. But if you figure out how to play this and you play along, I guarantee you it'll be a good time. So now that we know what key we're in, we know that, as we're listening, there might be a few little things here and there, but we're going to kind of narrow down the bass line as much as we possibly can. We're going to say, let's start on our F sharp. And then we're going to say, all right, well, the bass part kind of feels like it's in two parts. It's like one long continuous line, but I like to think about it as two parts. That's kind of part one, and then that's kind of part two. It's actually a 2-bar phrase if you think about it like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's a 2-bar phrase that kind of targets this note, the root, the F sharp, and then the 5, the C sharp. So that's kind of the underlying thing that we're following. So if we are not hitting an F sharp on beat 1 of the first bar and then a C sharp on beat 1 of the second bar, then you might want to see what's up. But as we play this line, we realize wow, we're really just using notes of the major pentatonic scale. To learn the major pentatonic scale, you say oh, well, we go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, octave. We're kind of just taking 2 notes away from the major scale. And we're going 1, 2, 3, skip 4, 5, 6, skip 7, and we can play our octave on top. Now, for the major pentatonic, instead of playing it with this 4-fret span, which you totally can do, you can also play it in more of a vertical position. I prefer to do that with this bass line just because it can be a little clunky to play it with the 4-fret span. But if you think to yourself like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 octave, and you take it down, those are all the notes that we're using to play this bass line. The first part goes like this. Or root, slide into the 3, 5, 6, 5, 6, land on the 5 again. So it's kind of just toggling between these notes, the root, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 6th. And we're going to hit the octave soon too. But again, we're just using these notes from the F sharp major pentatonic. Try practicing just that. Now we have the rest of the phrase that we need to complete, which is going to go like this. Just a little ditty. Kind of goes like 6, 5, 6, octave, 6. And those are the scale degrees that we're using. So if we play just that part and we put it together with the first part, it'll sound like this. So we have part 1, part 2, and then we start over again. Now I'm going to play it really slowly just so you can get it in there, get it in your head, listen to it. And hopefully you'll be able to follow along and get that bass line under your fingers. Again, this is a super cool thing and a great way to say like, oh, I've learned the major pentatonic. I don't quite know how to apply it. Well, this is how you apply it. Cool, awesome, soulful, funky bass lines, such as the one on Tighten Up by Archie Bell and the Drells. So I hope you found this lesson helpful. Please head over to my website, ryanmadora.com. Check out my TrueFire channel on my Patreon page for tab and notation. And thanks for being here. Happy practicing, everybody. Keep it groovy.
Yeah, you do the diner. Yeah, now. I said if you can do it now, you sure will be.